Welcome, everyone. I'm Louie Schindler. This is
Scott,
my husband and co-publisher of the Summerland Advocate-Messenger. If you're new to our newspaper, welcome. We started the paper about 6 years ago on a wing and a prayer and a credit line.
it's working out.
And it is working out. Yep. So we're a little bit new to this podcasting. We just came back from the Nebraska Press Association convention, and we listened to some of our friends who own a paper in Kansas, and they were talking about their podcast that they do that's called Beer Friday, and it really kind of piqued our interest. Their office is an old bar. Our newspaper is in an old bank. Someday we'll show you the vault, which is my wine cellar. But we'll show you that some other day. So we believe we're going to call this News and Booze. Unofficially brought to you today by Bush Latte. Unofficially. Yeah, there might be some drinking during this. We're going to talk about the news and some events going around in the Summerland area. And we'll give it a try. If you're interested in sponsoring our podcast, we would be more than happy to talk to you about those possibilities. We'll try and have something different to drink every week. I will. Can't guarantee Scott.
We'll get some breweries that are maybe will bring us up a 6-pack or something.
Yeah, and then we'll taste test their beer for you. So that's a little bit about us, a little bit of our newspaper, and how we decided to start another way to communicate with our audience, I guess, so to speak. Right? Yeah. So today's Wednesday. We're going to try and get this done every Wednesday and hopefully have it edited and up online Wednesday night. That's my goal. If you know anything about the newspaper business, that doesn't always mean it's going to happen, because when news breaks, you have to go, and sometimes things take longer than expected, but we just kind of roll with the punches here, and we'll go from there, right?
Well, like this morning, the papers were almost an hour late, and
that put us behind schedule all day. Yeah.
And we had a printing job to do that
we got done.
Need to get done, so
we got it done. Yep. So it's been a productive day.
Yes, we also do a lot of custom printing, tickets and
envelopes, posters,
wedding invitations, just a lot of stuff like that. And sometimes some of that, people wait until the last minute to say, "Oh, would you print this for me?" And and you're scrambling to.
Yeah, usually I'd say.
Oh, when do you need this? Tomorrow. No,
it doesn't work that way.
Don't work.
It doesn't work that way. We do have a lot of stuff on hand though, like envelopes and different weights of paper, different types of paper and cardstock. So we try and be accommodating, but I guess I would say we usually say a 2-week turnaround. Sometimes I can get it done the next day, but not always. Just depends on events and what's going on. Yep. So tomorrow's the 1st of May already.
Get your May baskets all out?
No. And like 2 years ago, Elizabeth's our designer, we talked about we were going to make May Day baskets for all the businesses in Clearwater. We had this great idea. We were going to take tin cans and paint and decoupage them and then stuff them with candy and deliver them. And what happened?
You didn't do it.
We didn't get it done. Dang it. Good intentions.
Good ideas, but
yeah, sometimes
takes work,
Sometimes it's just the two of us, and we don't always get
When
everything.
Scott's not here, shit don't get done.
Okay, yeah, whatever. I loved May Day when I was little. Like, I can remember, my parents were teachers, so I can remember, like, getting home after school. But the night before, we would take, like, a regular size Hershey bar and wrapped it in a doily, and maybe we colored on it or painted a picture or wrote a little message, and then we went to all the neighbors' doors and left that on the front step and knocked and ran off. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I lived out in the country, so that wasn't really one of our country traditions because we didn't live in town. But
yeah,
we have a local lady in town that I think, I don't know about every year, but she does it quite often. She
yeah,
has a May basket, and she thinks we don't know who she is, but
we know.
we know.
And we appreciate the May Day basket.
Yeah, it's just kind of a, who in the hell does this anymore? You know?
It's kind of neat though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those traditions. Something that, like, you kind of hope the grandkids remember, like, or learn and carry it on at some point. Maybe.
They probably won't.
Well, we can hope. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the news. We cover 5 towns. We call it the Summerland region. So we cover Clearwater, Ewing, Orchard, Page, and Royal. Gosh, when did the golf course start? Was that in the 70s?
Oh boy.
Or the 90s?
You caught me off guard
I
there.
know.
You didn't let me do.
It just came to my mind. Like, some people might not know about. Well, anyway, those towns.
There's a little highway that goes between Ewing and goes over to highway, what is it?
It's not a highway. It's a county road.
Oh, it's a county road, but it's always been called the Summerland Road.
And it meets the Orchard Road. And that's where we built a school 6 years ago. Well, actually, 5 years ago. It was finished, called Summerland. And on the Summerland Road, there used to be a dance hall. Yeah. And then those communities came together and they built a golf course. I kind of think it was in the early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't prepare mentally to talk about that today, so I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure in the 90s. Anyway, so we cover those 5 towns, and yeah, in today's paper, well, Scott can show you, lots of news. Some of it involves us, but
she bragged upon herself today, and I give her every credit for that because she works pretty hard at it.
Usually you don't want to be the news, you want to be reporting the news, but anyway, it's not about us today.
Yeah, it is about us.
We'll explain more about that back page in a little bit. But Ewing, American Legion has 15 members, maybe 6 or 7 who are really active.
Yeah.
And Scott's dad is a member of the Ewing Legion. His mom's in the auxiliary. And they are starting work on a veterans park, a veterans memorial. And so we were with them, some of those members, Monday night, and talked about their project, which I think will be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be next door to the bank in Ewing. That's the intersection of Nebraska and Spruce Streets. And there's a lot there right now that's got a couple trees on it.
Yeah.
And a flagpole.
Have to be rearranged a little bit, but
right. But they're going to do some concrete work, and then they're going to build a wall, and then these granite plaques will be put in, and the names of Ewing veterans who have served will be on them, and there'll be 180 on the front, 180 on the back. And then up at the top, there will be a bronze eagle. A new flagpole will be put up with the American flag. And then off to the side, there's going to be another little wall that honors the POW and MIA, which I think is a neat thing to do. And if you want to check that out, you can stop at the Ewing Bank. They have a model. We have a picture of the model on the front page. And you can check out. They will accept donations for the project. We actually presented them with a check for $500 Monday evening. Scott and I were the recipients of the Don Harpst Senior Leadership Award at the Press Association conference last Friday night. And so we were able to pick a couple organizations that we thought could benefit from prize money. So we picked the Ewing Veterans Memorial and then Clearwater's Veterans Memorial Park. They're ahead of the game.
Which is, yeah, they're a year ahead of the game.
Right. They started in 2024.
Well, like the Ewing one, it's been thought about for years,
Right.
and they probably actually got to work on it in 2024.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That happened when the Clearwater Chamber pitched in a substantial donation.
Yeah.
$50,000, if I remember right.
I was thinking 25, but now that you recall me, yeah, it was a 50,000.
And there was an empty spot here in Clearwater by the library. And if you would see it now, it's amazing. And they're still adding to it. And that's one of the cool things. Like, you never think about the sacrifice people make. And like, my grandpa served in France during World War I, and he died when I was in 8th grade, and he never talked about his time as a soldier. But I can remember later in life, like, Grandma still got veterans pension, and she would say, your grandpa never realized his sacrifice would support me, and I don't know.
That's why when we have memorial programs, everybody should go, because
Exactly.
it's kind of a tear-jerking moment, because you don't realize the people that fought for this country, for our freedom, did and went through, and it's something we should reflect on every Memorial Day.
Exactly. And we have great programs in this area.
Yeah.
You know, the Ewing program they always have a guest speaker, and it seems like I always learn something new every year. Clearwater, well, Ewing does too. They go out to the bridges.
Yeah.
The Elkhorn Bridge, and lower the boat in, and that's a touching service too. Orchard and Royal have
They have nice programs.
nice programs.
They don't have a river running through their town.
No,
so.
they don't. But yeah,
But they all have nice programs, and I don't care where you're from.
Yeah.
You should attend a memorial service for these people that sacrificed their lives for our country.
Yep. Maybe we'll just talk a little bit about the back page quick, if you want to show that again. We'll brag on ourselves a little more. So on the Saturday night of the Press Association conference is an award ceremony, and they celebrate the winners of the Better Newspaper Contest. So I keep a file all year long. Every week when the paper's done, I go through the paper and see if we have something that would be a good fit. I'm pretty particular about what I submit. I just don't, fill up every category. I submit pieces that I think have the potential to win or place in the top 3. And so Saturday night, we're in Class A because Class A is the smallest division of weeklies based on subscribers, and we won 31 awards. And those are in advertising, photography, writing, design, and social media, digital. We finished second in Class A, which that's the second year in a row, maybe the third year in a row. Definitely second. Yeah. And then they give an award for all of the weekly newspapers, and we finished second in that competition. So that was the first time we'd finished in the top 3, and when you put all of the weekly newspapers together. So that was good. And then we got third in digital for weekly newspapers. So I was happy with that.
And a lot of these papers are probably 50, 60, 80 years old, and we're still a new,
if not older,
newspaper.
Yeah, we are.
We're brand new. We're
6 years old.
6 years old, and
Yep.
And I don't remember. I think when we started, we were I'm thinking it was the second or third newspaper that started in the last 5 years when we started.
We were the second one. The first one was the Gothenburg Leader.
But
yep.
Yeah.
A lot of times they say newspapers are dying, but actually that's something I learned at convention was Nebraska newspapers are actually growing. I mean, the audience is growing. More people are reading, either picking up the print paper or online. And we encourage that. We offer an e-edition. It's usually up, well, my goal is early Wednesday morning. Sometimes it's not up till late Wednesday night, but the last 2 weeks have been good.
And I'm going to steal a little bit from a speaker that we had. And for this newspaper, for the information you get here to feed your brain, you can't even buy a candy bar for this right now.
Yeah, that's true.
You spend $2.20 or 19 cents
on a candy bar.
$2.19 for a candy bar. Our newspaper is only $1 right now, but the postal rates, we're going to have to raise the price, and we hate to do it, but we just can't.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more in an upcoming
issue.
Because
cast, or whatever you want to call it.
There's a lot of decisions that have to be made there about the cost and yeah, it costs a lot. Since we started, postal rates have gone up 67%. That's crazy.
And the service has gotten worse. And we have the e-edition. If you don't get your paper when it normally should be there, some people aren't getting it for 7, 8, 9, 10 days. We have an e-edition. If you're not getting it, you can call Luann. You got to have a code or something.
Yeah, I set it up for them.
And she'll set it up for you, so you can, on Wednesday, usually it's afternoon, probably after 3, you can basically go to your computer or phone or whatever, and you can read it.
Yep, absolutely. And if you are a print subscriber, that e-edition is part of the package. That's included in that cost. Now, we do have a lot of people who do just get the e-edition, which is great. And quite a few of them live farther away. because it does take a long time to get the paper to Houston or California or even Omaha. But and we appreciate those digital subscribers too.
Which, yeah, it's great for us because it don't cost us money to do an e-edition.
Okay, I'm going to clarify what he said. It does cost us money to do an e-edition because it's the same work as doing the paper. It just saves on the postal price.
Yes, that's what I mean.
That could be a whole lesson in itself, is how, you know, like when you put a letter on a stamp or a stamp on a letter, you pay that one set price. But in the newspaper world, it's completely different because the newspapers come in a tub, and that in that tub there are bundles. In each of those is a certain price. And so, for example, and we learned this at the convention, it might cost, you might have 2 subscribers in California. And those subscribers would pay their subscription cost, which right now would be $55 each. So the newspaper would be getting $110 for those 2 subscriptions. But the cost to mail those 2 papers to California for the full year of their subscription is almost $200. So you're already $90 in the hole as the newspaper. So, you know, there are some inequities in the postal system, as we know, and hopefully those get worked out. But that's probably a story for another day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, according to Mr. Jeff from White Wolf, it's going to get really bad in June and July. They're going through some postal changes, and I don't know, and I hope it can get better.
Yeah, yeah. So bear with us if you don't get your paper immediately. Meaning the next day or 2.
Get it online.
Yep. Always. You can always subscribe online. Well, anything else to share this week? We appreciate our subscribers. We always take story tips. If you have an idea for an article, stop by or drop me an email at lschindler@summerlandadvocate.com. Anything else? You're going to talk about the magazine?
Oh.
We also print a magazine, a quarterly magazine called Living Here, and it's stories from northeast and north central Nebraska and southeast and south central South Dakota. And we have been working with the Nebraska Business Center. We're kind of rebranding the magazine, and the new edition should be coming out. I would think it would be delivered in the next week. And then we're working ahead on the summer issue, which will hit mailboxes in July. You can pick those up at the office here in Clearwater, or you can go to our website, livingheremagazine.com, and you can check out the magazine.
It's very interesting. We got the people that work for us, they come up with some great story. If you're a history person like I am, you would just love this magazine. It's not all full of ads. It's a lot of stories. I mean, there's ads in it, but it's mostly stories. Who can tell me where that barn's at?
I know, but I took the picture, so.
It always intrigued me because I didn't even know where that barn was at. It was somewhere by Ewing, in an old barn field. But an old barn in a field near Ewing, Nebraska. And yeah, I didn't know where it was at, and I had to ask the man, where in the hell is this building at?
Don't tell.
And no, I'm
and
not
we'll
going to tell.
say, if you know where that barn was at, and you get a hold of me, we'll hook you up for a 1-year subscription. How's that?
Okay.
Okay, we'll see if anybody knows. Yeah.
Well, people that got the magazine have already studied
Right,
it.
right. But
Where in the hell is that barn? Oh.
clue. It's not there.
No, it's torn down
been
now.
Torn down.
Well, as you can see in the picture,
But
go buy the magazine somewhere, and you'll see it's kind of leaning. It's ready to go down. And the wind that we've had, yeah,
It just came down in the last year, but yeah.
But
Well,
there's a lot of historic. If you're, like I say, if you're a history buff, there's some recipe people in here, and it's
and some like 1-day trip ideas. We're adding some book reviews about books written about Nebraska and South Dakota, and yeah, it's a good magazine.
it's very interesting for a community in this part of the country, because there's always a story about this and history that a lot of it is just 1-day trips, and you can go look at it and learn and remember something about history.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with some probably random knowledge, some drinks, and stories from the front page of the Summerland Advocate-Messenger.
Thanks, everyone.